All right, thank you so much. MCR Maturity Investigation 1, the theory. Now, the investigation is really not a difficult thing. It's just a way of trying to find out the component, that whether the component of reality, the four component of maturity, personality, destiny, and self-esteem can be found in an individual. If we look at Miss Sunday, for instance, or the king, we pick an individual and try to investigate. We're trying to find out the present or absence of the MCR Invented part in their mind, their person, their lifestyle, their life view, the reality they are into, within the community they are. So, that's just it. You pick Miss Sunday, and then can you see a maturity value in her? Can you see a personality, a destiny, and a self-esteem in her? And then you pick the king too. You will realize that he is having same component but at a higher value. Now, that's what we're doing. And if you compare Miss Sunday and the king, you could really see that the king maturity value is really of higher. Mrs. Sunday's maturity is really, but we are not concerned about the value. We're just trying to say, well, we can identify that there's a maturity value in her, there's a personality in her, there's a destiny manifestation, and self-esteem. Well, this definition of maturity, personality, and destiny and self-esteem are already covered. Maturity is simply we're looking at certain values, that empower her personality. And then a certain personality that you can see and say, no, this is good and this is bad personality, certain destiny manifestation, certain obligations or certain functions. Now I'm talking about variables of destiny or certain self-esteem. Now we've covered quite a lot when we look at the MCR investigation part, but we're trying to just establish that when you pick the MCR investigation part, we can do a summary investigation whereby you just look out for maturity, and the maturity is simply maybe growth, development, transformation, mastery, discovery or experience, and then personality is really like an identity you can have. Destiny is about the function or obligation a person, and then self-esteem is probably the visible behavior or reaction. So what we want to find out whether we can have this in the king or in Miss Sunday or Mr. Sunday or his friend. And well, here's more like a chart. We will place an individual here, and then we'll try to discuss certain things that identify his maturity, certain things that identify his personality, certain things that identify his destiny manifestation, certain things that identify his self-esteem. That we could really see in a while. So let's just go straight into the MCR maturity investigation to the practical, and then maybe we'll pick the individuals and discuss them, and then that way we can really establish what we mean. And then perhaps maybe I'm still going to pick the MCR investigation part and really show us what we have covered. Now that will be after our next break. But for now, let's just go through this practical. So when we pick we could call this our sketch of the template. So we want to pick let's pick Mr. Sunday. When you look at Mr. Sunday, you can identify that he have some maturity value. Now, how do we do that? The letter he experienced, the promotion. He experienced really revealed that he must be a man of mastery, a man of experience, a man of discovery. He must definitely have some growth. I will talk about life in the mind. Definitely, he must have life in the mind. He must have lifestyle in the mind. He must be, someone with some level of awareness. Whatever maturity is, definitely we can see that in Mr. Sunday. And if we begin to modify his maturity, we could look at positive maturity on the life. And then when we look at his personality, we could really talk about certain things. We could see a man with healthy personality. We could see a man who was enduring and the like. So we're looking at his personality. His destiny manifestation, one could be, we look at him as a husband. We look at him as a civil servant. He work in an office. And for each of the husband and the civil servant, we could call it destiny manifestation, and we could look at his self-esteem. His self-esteem could more or less be seen in his religious affiliation. His friend merely quoted the scripture and then gave him that all of the story, and Mr. Sunday simply played along. That's a self-esteem. Self-esteem really is certain behavior, certain acceptance, certain things that trigger us on or off. And that story really triggered him, the desire, the belief that he'll be rewarded later, and made him really to push on. And we saw that's self-esteem. So let's move Mr. Sunday out. Let's bring the pastor. The pastor, we saw some false maturity in him. When he was faced with the destiny manifestation, he will not take the challenge of suffering for God. Of course, we could see a deceiving personality in him. We could really see a negative self-esteem in the pastor. Those are things we can see in the pastor. And then we could remove the pastor. Let's pick another man. Let's pick the king. The king is really having a positive maturity. We could see he's a king. So a king is a personality. Now, of course, when you see a king, you should expect him to do a king's job. Look at the way he put on the allowed there to walk, the way the screening went, that was destiny manifestation. And then they could see the self-esteem of the king. It was healthy, it was positive. At the time he asked him who he was, it is Baba Tomiwa, and Baba Tomiwa told him that he's just a son of a farmer, a commoner. The king was really okay with that. Now that's self-esteem. That's self-esteem. Another self-esteem. Who do we pick now? The Olode. Let's move the king out, and then let's pick Olode. If you look at Olode, he really have training for his job as a royal guard. He's a royal guard. There's a personality. He's at his work. For the king. That's destiny manifestation. And then his self-esteem, we saw his bragging, the way he composed himself at the work, that's self-esteem. It revealed to us that he knows what he's doing, probably understood what he was doing, he enjoyed what he was doing. These are elements of self-esteem, and the like. So let's move him out now, and let's put Mr. Sunday's friend. Mr. Sunday's friend, from the scripture he quoted in James, revealed that he has maturity, that he was able to come to his friend, that's a personality, healthy personality. What he did was more like a destiny manifestation, more like an obligation, someone would say. They're friends, so he's obligated to see that his friend is not misguided. That he didn't feel embarrassed with his friend. Some persons would scream on him and say, Mr. Sunday, my Sunday. No, you shouldn't do that, no. But it was composed, was more friendly. You need to have watched the drama. Well, I have it actually. I have a transcript of it, and you can download it from the internet, Critical Moment, and you can really go through it. So you could see the self-esteem in him. We could look at negative. Let's remove this and let's pick a lady. Pick Miss Sunday. We could see a negative for extreme maturity. We could see an extreme personality, we could see an extreme destiny manifestation, and extreme self-esteem. Her personality was entirely extreme. How she would deprive her husband of what he was drinking. Destiny manifestation was she was, her housewife, and self-esteem was that she was disturbed about the way people around her, are really enjoying their life, and they are starving. She's having negative self-esteem. And there are other things we could discuss really, and we could check the analysis of them or critical moment, the investigation. So let's move out. Let's pick Awela, the king's daughter, the princess. We saw a positive self-esteem. Whoever would have put her to read that she needed someone who is born again, a child of God. She was a princess. That's a personality. Destiny manifestation. What would we call it? It's getting a husband. That is really a destiny manifestation. And we could see her self-esteem was, she will be marrying someone she won. The bride that she married, a child of God, revealed that she have interest in spiritual things. More than just someone who's attractive or social. That's self-esteem. That's what I can really say of self-esteem. I may not really be getting the angle very well, fear. So, thank you for listening. So I'm going to come back with the MCR investigation part, and then I'm going to show us maybe one or two persons on it. Or I may just, at this point, just recommend that you watch my first experience of MCR investigation. I think we should do it that way, so that I wouldn't have to repeat what I've already covered. But perhaps these materials really didn't add up to teach us or show us how to use the MCR investigation part. I hope to pick certain other interests, maybe a scripture, maybe a story, maybe a book, and then I will see how we can augment all of that. But I can see there's no need for me to use the MCR investigation part again, because most of the things I'll be saying, I've already covered them. Thank you. Goodbye.